back to another election edition of Meet Victoria with Caleb Shaw. We are now powered by ThriveFuel Digital Marketing, so thanks to them, let's just jump right into this. We've got some hot contested races here going on in Victoria County. One of those being the Victoria County Commissioner Precinct 2. So, my friend, thank you so much for showing up. If you wouldn't mind, please introduce yourself.
My name is Zed Stewart, and I'm running for Precinct 2 County Commissioner.
Now, if you would, tell me a little bit about yourself and what in the world made you wake up and decide, hey, I want to jump into a political race and run for commissioner here.
A little bit about myself. I started off whenever I moved to Victoria County 18 years ago. I was a day hand, did cow work, DeWitt, Victoria County. Moved on and ran a few ranches in DeWitt County. Whenever the whole world ended in 2008, let's just say I went and did things that I didn't intend on doing, like driving a concrete truck.
Didn't ever see that in your future,
Oh,
huh?
no.
Not one of the things you picked out for yourself?
I got my CDL so I could drive the cattle trucks at the sale barn.
And then you end up in a concrete truck.
And then all of a sudden, somebody's got to pay the bills, and you do things.
Yes, sir.
And so drove a concrete truck for a while, went and I got another manager job on a ranch, and then God told me that it was time for me to go. And so I went back to the concrete company and actually ran the operations for them, and then got into full-on construction. And now I have my own concrete construction business.
Nice, nice. A lot of people, you're running for county commissioner, and I don't think a lot of people truly, understand the difference between, like, say, city council, county commissioners, all of these different titles and offices and stuff. And could you kind of elaborate? What do you see as the role of a county commissioner? What does that job undertake, and why is it important?
The county commissioners are the forgotten executive committee.
Okay.
It seems that they can slip under the radar for a long time, and like they're in Precinct 2. I do not know how long Mr. Yannick has been a commissioner, but he's been a commissioner ever since I moved here.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to say that's at least 18, 20 years. And it's one of those deals. Whenever you do things right, people think that you haven't done anything at all. Until you don't do things right and people look up and go, hey, what's going on? And I think that's kind of what has happened in the last several years with the county commissioners.
Anything you want to elaborate there? Is there specifics? I know some of the items, Hurricane Harvey funds, for example. That seems to be a hot button topic there
And honestly, that's one of the reasons accountability for other people's money.
Yes, sir.
And my philosophy is that's not my money. I mean, whenever I was president of the Band Boosters, it's unbelievable how many people get a pile of money and they look at it and go, "Ooh, let's spend it." Well, but that's not your money. You need to take care of it like it's your money and it's in your bank account.
Yes, sir.
And I think that is a problem with government in general, is the fact that it's always somebody else's money. Mm-hmm. If you gave me $20, I'm going to go do something that I wasn't going to go do with that $20.
You're right.
But if that's my $20, then it's already got a
job.
It's already got somewhere that it needs to go.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people in government, that's the way they look at money.
No, I agree with you. They have a sense of entitlement. It's theirs.
I firmly believe that tax money still belongs to the taxpayer.
Yes, sir.
It does not belong to the county. It doesn't belong to the city, whoever it is. It belongs to the taxpayer. And so it should be used to benefit the taxpayers, the people that paid that money.
Yeah. No, you will not get an argument from me on that one. I'm kind of a tax guy, so
it's hard for anybody to argue that.
Yes, sir.
And come off as being honest.
Right. Well, but there's a lot of people in government that think they can spend your money better than you can.
I tell you what, and they think they can make all those decisions for you that, you're not qualified to make. Well, how about this? You decide what's good for you, I'll decide what's good for me, and you stay out of my business.
I got no rebuttal.
I mean,
that little common sense goes a long ways, doesn't it?
Well, you know what? It's my slogan, if there is a slogan, is I'm a constitutional conservative. If the Constitution says that the government can do it, fine. If it says the government's not supposed to do it, then the government's not supposed to do it.
Get out of it. Yep. Hey.
You know, and I think the tax rate in Victoria County and the state and the nation all put together, they're doing things that they were never supposed to do. They're spending money that they were never supposed to be able to spend. And while the tax rate has nominally stayed the same for the last, what are we looking at, 16, or no, not 16, 6 years or so, well, the appraisals keep going up. And the appraisals have to keep going up because they have to continue to get money in to support the budget that the county commissioners okay and approve.
Yes, sir. So let me ask you something about this then. One of the things that I've been a proponent for, or a tax that I could hold my nose for, I should say, would be a consumption tax versus property taxes, because I have an issue with property taxes in the sense that you never truly own your home and you're basically renting it from the government. And even if I paid cash for my home and for some reason I fell ill, whatever, couldn't pay my taxes, I can lose my property to the government. I've never liked that. I've never liked that the property owners, for the reasons you speak of, you know, drastically rising assessment values, all these things, they take a beating, and there's no incentive for the politicians to me to return that money because they need that money. But in my mind, again, from 30,000 feet with the consumption taxes, everybody pays, not just property owners. You know, you got the drug dealer that goes to buy something, he's paying taxes on that.
Absolutely.
But I like the aspect of it, if I choose to save my money, if I choose not to spend, then my money stays in my pocket and it's not taken from me, from the government. And so, and I know that consumption tax is there's a lot to that, but it's surface level.
That is not as simple as it seems like it is on the surface.
Yes, sir.
You know, because tax law should not be as complicated as it is.
Agreed.
But it was not written by you and I.
Yes, sir.
And so there's always way more to it. But here, the property taxes, the people that pay the property taxes are paying those to support the people who don't.
Yes, sir.
And there's a great disconnect there. I mean, it's not supposed to be there. You know, you're supposed to put in your part, but your part is not necessarily more than my part.
Right.
We need to pay what our part is.
Right.
Regardless.
Yes, sir.
And property tax, that's not the way it works, because property tax is an easy way for everybody to go, oh, well, property's not going away. Somebody's going to own it. And so that's where they go to get the money.
Gotcha. What would you say your top priorities as a candidate coming in? What would you say the main areas that you wanted to focus on right out the gate?
Well, I think we've already discussed a little bit of that. It always comes down to money. I mean, I've been broke before, habitually broke, but I've never been poor.
Yes, sir.
Poor is a state of mind. But the typical, and I mean, it's been happening for long, but I remember the days when working for the county, the only reason you worked for the county or the city was because they had good benefits.
Yes, sir.
Well, now the only reason you work for the county is because they got great benefits, the pay is pretty good, I mean, commensurate or better than the private sector, and you can't get fired. Okay, there's two things in there that I have issues with.
Yes, sir.
Because the not getting fired part, you know, this is a state of Texas, it's a right to work state. You have the right to work and I have the right to fire you.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I am still old school enough to believe that if you're gonna to work for the public, you ought to work for the public.
Yes, sir.
You know, and the benefits, all right, that's fine and great. But I do not believe that government should short shift the private sector by siphoning off the best people, whenever the best people are better served for everyone, for themselves, for the entire community, in the private sector.
Yes, sir.
I am a big time stay out of my business and I'll stay out of your business guy.
Yes, sir. No,
That's
works for me.
I mean,
Works for
you
me.
know, it seems overly simple, and it's overly simple unless you want to make it complicated. And usually, whenever somebody wants to make it complicated, they're doing something that they probably shouldn't be doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, no rebuttal from me there. So a few little things I'm going to kind of rapid fire with you here, just because we don't have a ton of time today. Illegal border crossings are at an all-time high. You know, it's out of control. You can turn on any news station. Well, not any news station. There's only a few that seem to cover it, but it's kind of out of control right now. And it is, you know, we are seeing our law enforcement take a hit on it because of the amount of time, funds, et cetera, that they spend trying to combat this. What do you think, you know, as a commissioner, that do you think our law enforcement has what it needs to combat this? And secondly, what is your approach to trying to deal with some of these border issues and some of the illegal, bailouts and stuff that we're seeing so often around here? What is kind of your philosophy on how to help law enforcement deal with this or make it to where this isn't such a hot area?
To make a place not a hot area, it has to be very uncomfortable.
Yes, sir.
I mean, and it just has to be uncomfortable.
No refuge here.
It's just like crime.
Illegal.
If a criminal thinks they're going to get shot by breaking into somebody's house,
They're not going to that
well,
one.
they're not going to that house.
Yes, sir.
And so deterrent is everything, because you know as well as I do, you're not going to catch all the crooks. You're not going to catch all the illegals. You're just not. But you have to make it to a point where it is so uncomfortable to be somewhere that they go.
Yes, sir.
And how you stay within federal law and state law to get that done, I don't have all the answers to that question.
Yes, sir. Well, and that's fair enough, because you're not the incumbent right now. Right now you have a limited amount of knowledge because you're on the outside looking over and trying to assess what you could accomplish.
Exactly.
But you don't have all the
Now,
fine print.
I have what I think ought to be,
Yes, sir.
but I'm not sure that all of that actually would fall, especially under federal law.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because a lot of that, if we catch them, we ought to be able to ship them. I mean, plain and simple, they are breaking the law. But somehow or another, the federal government wrote the laws where the states do not have the right to enforce federal law.
It's a crazy thing, isn't it?
Well, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, it was the Texas Rangers that rode the border.
Yes, sir.
And that was state, that wasn't federal. And I'm not exactly sure when that changed, or if it just changed because somebody wanted it to change and they said, yeah, you do this and then we're going to sue you or whatever.
Right. Yes, sir.
And so
final question, and not to cut you off here, we're just running short on time. In summary, why should somebody pick you over the incumbent? Why are you the guy for the job? And then I'm going to lead into how can they get in touch with you and stuff. But for right now, just in closing, why are you the man for the job?
because I'm just like everybody else. And I believe that your money is your money and your business is your business. And the fact that I started way down there at the very bottom and now I'm up, kind of mediocre bottom of the middle, it's not the fact that I'm going to sit here and tell y'all that I am so smart and so great, but I will say this, that the elected officials should work for the people. Period. I am not coming here to be your leader. I am coming here to do what you want me to do. And I think that gets backwards, because, the leadership. Well, they're only leadership because they're in front. And 9 times out of 10, they're not in front, they're behind.
Leading from the rear.
Exactly,
Yes, sir.
and you can't lead from the rear.
Yes, sir.
And I will not lie, I will not do underhanded, questionable things because my conscience will not allow it.
Yes, sir. How can people reach out and track your campaign? If they have questions for you, how can they follow you, my friend?
That's a very simple question and a very simple answer. Call me.
Drop the phone number for them?
361-564-7142.
Good deal. My friend, thank you so much. I apologize that we don't have more time to spend with you, but I appreciate the fact that you tossed your hat in the ring. You know, this is an intrusion into your life. It's into your day. You have to come on weird shows like this, talk to weird people like me all day and make this happen. But I appreciate it, and I'm grateful that you took the time out of your day, and I'm grateful to you for volunteering to serve, because we need people. And so thank you so much. Thank you for coming by. Guys, thank you to ThriveFuel Digital Marketing for getting us out there and helping us reach more people. And you stay tuned, and we'll have another one for you soon. Take care, guys. Until the next one.